rounds left to go here for the IWTR World Photo Series Season 4. We're here for round 12 of the season for the Spanish Grand Prix here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Obviously the championship hunt is actually getting closer than we initially anticipated at the start of the season. It's now becoming a tight battle in the lead of the championship. The track is named after a Spanish two-time world champion motorcycle racer Ricardo Tormo himself. Even though the track doesn't host or never host a Formula 1 Grand Prix, but it does host a winter testing once in 2011. Obviously, Robert Kubica sets the fastest lap time with Formula 1 car on this track in that session. Circuit Ricardo Tormo, located in Cheste, Valencian community in Spain. It's almost a 4 kilometers circuit flat, or 2.488 miles, 14 corners, 9 to the left and 5 to the right. The track has been a regular fixture for MotoGP and the recent Formula E GT World Challenge Europe, and also NASCAR Euro Series makes its appearance here a couple of times here as well. Also with the previous winners of this track, that being Drake Remaster with Harmeyer Racing, back then known with aka HRT, Red Legend 35 score a win here with Toro Rosso, and Livin Pasalic with Force India last season. So, but today he's started probably back, to be honest, but we'll see what happens in this race. And once again we are back here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. I'm your host and your commentator Pauser here, back in the booth once again, and being the Spanish Grand Prix always, you know, obviously people would say that, would this race be a fuss? Would this race be just another boring race? Well, with this circuit's characteristic that it fits more of a MotoGP circuit rather than Formula 1, but I mean, last season's race proved that in the first lap it can be crazily chaotic, as we're seeing with somebody just flying off from the first corner, and unfortunately, fortunately, everybody was actually okay and were able to do their jobs once again. But we're back here in the Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Spain, with the 2017 cars being, you know, having more downforce, and it certainly is going to challenge these drivers. That are they going to be able to actually overtake each other on this car at this track? So we'll see what happens. But without further ado, let's have a look at the championship update for both the drivers and the constructors championship. Okay, let's start off with the drivers standings. So far, I would say Nick Koch did an absolute amazing job to get a podium there back at the Italian Grand Prix. Now with that, she is now up there in the front with only just 6 points deficit between her and also Tim Anderson, who was the previous leader. 93 points and 99 points, very close, to be honest, in the top two. Then Jafari Blackwood in third, didn't score any points but still stay in third, which is decent. But the most surprising one of the bunch is Pongchon for China as well, being the rookie of the season. I mean, same to Nick Koch, both are rookies in this season, and they're already performing in the way that they should be for like high top tier team. But of course, this being equal championship, obviously the car's gonna be the same for every team. So yeah, what a surprise for both of the Hasses to do such a well done job for last race. But meanwhile, the last race winner, that is Cyril Petrujan, actually move up a couple of spots. He's now moved up to 11th on the standings with that 25 points. He now has 45 points, so a little bit further than he would have hoped for, because the Ferraris weren't doing quite as good. But he still tried to consistently score points as much as he could. But yeah, he is now in 11th place with 45 points, so still a couple of points back. So yeah. And meanwhile, at the back of the pack, I would say Ryan Adam did an okay job for the rookie that replaces the outgoing Soteris Contagouris. Now I think he's going on okay. It's a bit better. The first race that he debuted was in Germany, and he finished 20th. Then next race in last race in the Italian Grand Prix, he actually finished 12th. So it could be a slightly progressively going better for him for the Italian driver. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how things will go on this race, and especially with this race having 30 laps, which is probably the highest amount of laps on any track that we race so far in this season. So we have to wait and see what would happen in this race. Meanwhile, the constructors, I would say and I cannot believe I'm saying this, Haas is leading the constructors championship. I cannot believe what I'm saying at all right now, because now it is a fight between Haas, Sauber and Williams fighting for the championship in the last 5 rounds here. Meanwhile, other teams such as like Porsche, McLaren and Jaguar, they're all doing just fine. I mean, Porsche did actually score with Drobozarjevic last race. He actually scored 10 points, so he'd still be up there. So that's gonna be about 12 points for him then. So that's quite a crazy one to think about, to be honest. But then you see that a lot of teams have different, a lot of teams just try out the different strategies on the Italian Grand Prix, but pitting on different laps, I would say, some of them, but it's just only one stop, and it really brings a lot of a question mark among the standings so far this season. So yeah, 5 rounds left to go, so we'll see what happens in these rounds. Back on the grid over here, and that's about it for the championship update, as we're going to head on towards the formation lap and the starting grid for the Spanish Grand Prix. Obviously it's still being sponsored by Monroe. Now we will see what happens in this race. So we have a couple of drivers right here, and it's actually, well, let's just not waste any time of us, and let's just have a go at the starting grid. Shafari Blackwood, that is, I think, his third pole, oh actually his second pole of the season. That is, I'm surprised that would, well, I'm actually surprised that this is his first pole of the season. So yeah, congrats to him, and he was starting in the front row, and Zedekaya will lines up in second place, his second time in the front row actually. So what an amazing job there for the Filipino driver, but we'll have to wait and see what happens in the race. Tim Anderson, second place in the championship hunt, so would be a slight good one. Now he qualifying second row. Then alongside him is actually Akatini Bivona, finally delivering that good forms of McLaren back again in 4th place. Nick Koch still doing just fine and starting in 3rd row, and she is currently the championship leader. Raymond Tanner alongside her in this row in 6th place. Matthew Falcon and Ryan Adam, both of them doing decent jobs in the qualifying session, both starting in row 4. Row 5 we have Dylan Holt and Seb Plebs. These two, not the best of results in the terms of qualifying, but it's definitely not the worst for them both. Zori Petrosyan, last race winner, and Mr. Peanut Butter both lines up in row 6. Porsche China there moves up, well, a couple of spots in the championship hunt, and he will start 13th today, 7th in the championship. Mitch Johnson lines up 14th for today's race. Zlatko Drobozarjevic and Luca Farina lines up in row 8. Row 9, it's Prem Pilch and Simon Witt both lines up in row 9. Row 10 we have Alex Luwan, who crashed out earlier on, and alongside him is Adia Backus. Henry Jack Brown and Mihaly Silva, who also crashed out earlier on in the first couple of laps in the Italian Grand Prix. He will start 22nd today. Flunger Wilson and Noah Tuomela both lines up in row 12. These two, obviously, Tuomela especially, he actually scored points, but in the last race, but somehow qualified worse in this race. So, but he actually did something. Well, he started 25th and finished 7th, which is a phenomenal achievement. But Would it be the same on this track? We don't know how would it happen for him. And Lithium Pasalic and Cesar Cohen Jr. both lines up in the last row. But obviously Cesar Cohen Jr., I mean, probably like the bottom 6 actually being caught out all because of the traffic, and they couldn't set a realistic lap times for these guys. So we'll see what will happen next. Every car's already in. Actually, some of the cars actually gone off the grid. That might be the penalty there. It's going to be 4 red lights and the Spanish Grand Prix, and we go green here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Blackwood gets a jump, big jump in the start. Then Encaya moves towards the cover of Tin Anderson. He slides off, and everybody just about to go into the first corner just fine. And there you see there's a big kerfuffle there. There's a 4 wide indicator over there in turn 2. And then into turn 3 and 4 it's going to be a slight, there's 3 whites, there's a lot of 2 whites actually from my perspective. And it seems as though these drivers just make a lot of pounds on these on these corners. And you can see they're sticking side by side between each other. But look at that, that is Blackwood just throws away along with Seth and Kaya there, escape from the field, and now just stretching the gap away. And remember, this track is actually pretty hard to pass, so you don't want to mess up your tires up, and it's obviously it's down to about strategy at this point if we're going to talk about this track. So there we see now lap 2 of the race. It's gone by so quickly there. Blackwood leads from Encaya, then Bivona in 3rd place, and then also Tin Anderson loses 1 spot there because of his slides in turn 1. And now we're gonna go down into the next couple of turns here. Anderson in 4th, Nick Koch still doing just fine. She will still in 5th place. Then we have Raymond Tanner there in 6th place. Not much change, but except there, Mr. Peanut Butter there moves up 4 positions from his starting spot. So they're going to come down to about into turn 6 here, and Angel Nieto. And it seemed just like they were doing just fine, coming off turn 6 and 7. Now into turn 8 they go. That being called Bernard Martinez. And then into this flick 9, 10, 11 would be hard on some of the right and left tires over here, but it seems as though the gap is stretching out quite severely for all of these drivers. Look at that, it's already stretching out. Like everyone probably has at least a second gap between each other, but Blackwood still prevails in the front. We're in lap 3 out of 30 now. It's gonna be a long race, definitely for sure, but it's gonna be a long race for sure because we have 30 laps, but it's probably gonna take about the same time. Oh, I was about to say that it's probably gonna take a same amount of time for as well as the other races. But there you see Shopshiner down the inside on Mitch Johnson. Now retakes 13th, so he retains his starting spot there in 13th. But then you see obviously Mitch Johnson lost a position that he gained. But you see both the Ferraris and one of the Red Bulls as well. Simon Witt actually made up 2 positions up. Meanwhile, Pedro Jean actually dropped down 4 positions there from P11 on the grid. And obviously there isn't any DRS on this track, so these drivers are going to have to rely on all of the driving skills that they have just to make sure that they would get close and actually make some moves over some of these guys. But there you see now actually Mr. Butter actually getting close to Matthew Falcon there. But would it be close enough? I don't think so. It's going to be about 3 or 2 tenths there. Not going to overtake in this corner, and then he's going to fail to do so yet. He's going to stay right there and not making any overtakes yet. So we actually might see some of the overtakes in the pit stop actually. But there you see now, I think that was Luan having a shot there on the inside of Herman Pilch, but I don't think that wasn't enough. And I think there Flondra Wilson, I think she got a fastest lap there. Or I think, yeah, Brown had a look as well. Brown had a look as well on turn 4, but not enough, I would say. Still too much gapped. And now you can see the gap is actually, if some cars are actually getting real close to each other, their gap's actually starting to get really close to each other there. You see top 4 already spreading out from the pack. There you see Blackwood leading from Seneca, then Bivona, then Tin Anderson there, but Nick Koch is about 3 seconds away from the top 4 field. So it would be interesting to see how these guys would handle the track and progress up through time and see the tires are okay. Oh, do you see they're getting a lot closer than I thought it would be there. And Jack Brown still edges in front of Mihaly Sevak. There you see now Cohen Jr. actually getting real close to the back of that Williams car. Not much to say about it. Still might be a chance. You may never know. And there you see now Cohen Jr. makes a move on the Williams and on the inside of Diabakis, and that's a clean move there. Cohen Jr. moves up to 22nd after starting in 26th. There you see Pasalic actually try to overtake Backus as well on the inside. Backus trying to resist that move, but wasn't enough, and he has to settle for 24th now. 4 positions down for him, and it's getting worse for him, it seems, for his car. But there you see now Wilson is going to have a go on this corner. Is she? She's not going to have a go, or actually she might. She is actually very close to Backus there, and there's a door open up for her, and she's going to take that chance. Both alongside each other now, coming off turn 11, and Wilson takes on the inside, and she takes P24 away from Diabakis, and looks like Tormella might have a move there on turn 12 as well, but wasn't really enough to overtake. Didn't capitalize on that. But there you see now Falcon slowing down a little bit. Mr. Peanut Butter in 8th place, Ryan Adam in 9th, then Dylan Hope in 10th. So both of the Renaults, in the points, and Ryan Adam as well. 3rd race, just his 3rd race in the season, and he's about to score a point points for Scuderia Toro Rosso now. But simply, this is just only the start of a race. And oh, what happened to Blackwood? He lost 2 positions there. What is going on? Serenkaya is now actually leading the race once again. Leading the race for the first time, actually. I feel like that might have to do in some way or the other. But Blackwood... Oh, he got wide. He got wide 2 laps earlier on. That gives a move for Serenkaya and Bivona into the podium spot. Actually, well, Bivona already in the podium spot, but now up to 2nd place, even better than 3rd. There you see there. Let's have a look on his onboard. Oh yeah, just no brakes. Just brake fail on that. Probably having some overheating brakes there for Blackwood. Now the Mercedes is leading the race once again. Last time that he did it was back at Germany last 2 rounds ago. Would the race be changed after this? We just never know. But let's just hope that anything could happen in this race. Serenkaya probably gonna help themselves and hope that nothing is gonna take away from his win here at the Spanish Grand Prix. It seems possible though. He has 2.2 second lead, and actually Liv Salik sets another faster lap time there, 1:14.1. That is actually pretty extraordinary, to be honest. We see the other drivers coasting around the track. I mean, of course, being a MotoGP track, so there weren't that much of overtaking opportunities, especially with there isn't any DRS overtaking spots, or actually DRS activating spots. Like especially on that like on this straight after turn 6, that would be okay to put the DRS on, but obviously the main point to watch out for here is the main straight, because main straight is arguably probably the best spot to do, because with a short amount of the straight compared to the other tracks, such as like, you know, Spa, or actually maybe probably similar lengths to Spa, but or actually maybe bigger. I could be bigger actually, but I feel like it might be a bit longer than the Spa front stretch that we see in Formula 1 actually, but and then you see now setting Kaya just about to still hang on, 2.2 seconds still, but Bivona is actually charging hard. He's actually going for it. He hasn't feel a car that is more comfortable with him for the last couple of races now, so it would be as though the fortunes might have changed for him. It seems too fast to, you know, conclude this, but you know, Bivona hasn't tasted a podium celebration since season 2 or 3, man, which is quite a long time, I would say. He hasn't stepped on the podium in this season at all. So he was all the way back. If you remember the last 2 races, the first 2 races for Bivona, he actually scored last and even a lap down. So feels like this probably is a resurrection for him, but how long would it stay? I'm not trying to undergrade him, so just hoping that he would do better in the next couple of races as well. So we'll have to wait and see how things happen for him. Meanwhile, the middle of the pack, there you see there is Zlatko Drobozarjevic in 12th, driving that Takoya Porsche Formula 1 team. So he obviously did score a point last race, but certainly wasn't the best when it comes to, you know, managing the tires, because he sometimes would rather fell out of the point standings position. But some of the races that he went through, I mean, of course, for example, the Italian Grand Prix, he actually scored some decent points as well. Last 2 races at the German Grand Prix, he also did score a decent amount of points as well for his troubles then. So certainly the one prospect to look forward, if any teams were looking to, you know, sign with him, but it still opens for him. There's still pretty much like no rumors about, you know, him leaving the team. So, and I mean, with everyone as well, there isn't any rumors about anyone swapping the team, so we'll still wait and see what happens. But we're in the later part of the season now, so I think the rumors should come about. I don't know, could be any of the last 4 races that we're going in. We may never know, but that's all to decide for some of these teams. So some of the teams will retain, some of the teams might retain their current drivers lineups, but we never know what's going to happen. So only time will tell if that statement would be true or not. We're just about talking about this, and we're already completing 1/3 of the race so far. So it's in lap 11 of 30, and feels as though some of these guys staying out quite a bit longer than I thought it would be. I mean, especially like setting Kaya, they're soft tires. Everyone is like, I mean, everyone's on soft tires, but would they change to other things? We don't know, but certainly the soft tires is going for the best, but we'll have to wait and see for the halfway through the race, or maybe the later half of the race, to see if there's going to be any change on the tires at all. So yeah, now Zenigaya leads with Bivon in second place. Not much change for every position, to be honest. And let's have a go on board with Petrojan here. Currently he's in 15th with decent amount of gaps between him and Mitch Johnson in front of them. But I feel like he's getting close. He hit the curves just right, coming off the final corner. Hits on the straight. No DRS, just only slipstream only. And it looks as though still might not be enough for him to catch up to the Sauber driver, who once was a Season 3 World Champion there. Well, actually, he'd been surrounded by both seasons champions, because look at that, Mitch Johnson is right there, Season 3 World Champion. Then you see on behind you, Season 2 World Champion Simon Witt, just about to catch up to him in the Red Bull. So these two literally sandwiching Petrojan in 15th right now. Still not much has happened yet, so we're on lap 12 out of 30 now. Seneca is just about to come off the final corner, and still there weren't many. They're still trying to preserve the tires as much as they could. And there it goes now, lap 13 complete. Still looking just fine for some of these cars. But certainly the soft tire is going to last a lot longer than, you say, super soft, which was still being used in the series, you know, as the times went by. But there you see Mr. Peanut Butter there coming in 8th place, 4 positions up. Then Falcon 7th now. And also you see there Raymond Tanner in 6th place, doing quite a decent job for the Toro Rosso as well. And then you see right down in 9th, there is his teammate. So Nick Koch as well doing just fine 5th, but obviously she can't let Tin Arison score more points than her. But if it's still gonna stay like this for the rest of the race, that means Tin Arison would push the gap back up to about 3 points, or actually no, it's 4 points actually, in just behind Nick Koch there. So yeah, if they stay like this throughout the race, then Koch would get 10, then Tin Arison would get 12, which that means it's 2 points deficit. So would decrease. I mean, Tin Arison would probably decrease the gap down to 4 points after this race. But we'll just have to wait and see how the strategy plays out, as we're almost at the... Whoa, and there's some battles going on. Seplep's going on inside of that Takoya Porsche of Drobo Zarjevic. Drobo Zarjevic slides off a bit. And now feels like this action just about to start there for the mid pack that was looking to fighting for the points there. But still they're pretty much still out of bounds for the points, so still gonna have to carry a bit more speed there, especially Sepp Plebs. He needs to get past Dylan Hope if he wants to get the points for his team. Oh, he gone off the curbs a bit. I think he slides off just a tiny bit there. Plebs still in front there. Drobo Zarjevic in 12th, lost 1 position. And now comes Shaushainat, very close, coming off the final corner there for Adrian Campos' corner in turn 14. Seems just fine, and Shaushainat just about to come through. The rest of the field. Oh, there's a 1 car tank slapper there. That's Preman Pilch. Slides off, and that gives a move on Alex Luan, trying to go on the inside of that Mercedes, just about to do. Then here it comes now, Zahara Force India trying to go as well for Henry Jack Brown, but wasn't enough. Preman Pilch still hangs on just fine there. Cohen Jr. now is very close to the other Williams of Mihaly Sivat there. It's just a little bit of a butterfly effect here, as everyone just, you know, actually a little bit of domino effect there. You know, everybody's just a little bit hesitant on whether they're going to make a move or not. So they pretty much just stack up and now became a slipstream train at this point. When it slides off, it's just fine. You see top 4 actually stretching out a lot more gaps than I would thought it would be there. Senenkaya still in the lead, and here it comes now. He's going to get into the pit box this lap. It would be halfway through on this race. Tin Anderson not pitting, but Senenkaya certainly does. And Tin Anderson wasting no time trying to attack Jafari Blackwood in 3rd place. And I think they made a contact as well. Tin Anderson just has to be a bit more patient there if he wants to overtake easy and clean. Or with a slide there. Now most of the fields are now going to come into the pit lane, so they're going to get a faster tyre. But yes, Senenkaya just still peels away, 3 seconds gap now. Tin Anderson still can't yet find a way to overtake Jafari Blackwood there in 3rd place. Then Nick Koch, she's also going to pit as well. Matthew Falcon not pitting, Raymond Tanner pits. It seems like everybody pits, but there you see Dylan Hope now down the inside of that Toro Rosso driver. They made a contact there for Ryan Adam. So he's going to have to peel off, and he's going to still be in 10th place. And there you see now Drobo Sarjevic trying to go on the inside of that Seplipt. Just about to get alongside, and he's going to get a better shot there coming into the inside of this corner, and I think he will take the corner. Yes, he does. Now into 13 and 14. Would Plebs trying to resist that? No, he's got to stay behind in 12th place, and now here comes everybody's going to the pit lane. Senenkaya, how would his pit stop would go? 4.98, that's not bad at all. For I think that's probably his only stop there for a race. Actually, everybody is going ultra soft tires, so this is going bold for some of these drivers. And yeah, you can see there Senenkaya 4.98, 3.63 for Jafari Blackwood. That's a decent stop there. 4.9 flat for Pivona. Then Nick Koch 4.01, 3.68 for Ryan Adam. He will get in front of the Jaguar of the Red Bull of Sepp Plebs there, 4.33 for him. Raymond Tanner 4.58, and then Prem Pilch 4.20. Mihaly Zavat 4.51. Then Mr. Peter Butter 5.30. Then Petrojan, then Johnson, and then Tormella is the last car that comes out of the pits for this round. Just only Tin Anderson just about to hang on. Let's have a look on his onboard camera. Slight bit hesitant there. Just about to come into the pits, and here it goes. Pit stop is now about to come. 60 kilometers per second in this pit box, so you have to time it perfectly. Matthew Falcon still staying out, actually. Same with Joe Shiner, it seems. Yeah. And into the pit stop. Ultra soft tires they go. 5.28. And he will get in front. And here it comes now. Senenkaya just about to come home on the front stretch, and he will still stay in front, so he definitely undercutted him. Quite a big one there. And Tin Anderson just about to come out in front of Nick Koch, so he pretty much successfully overcut Nick Koch there. And here goes, now comes the other drivers now to the field. There would be no contact. No, that there almost a contact there. But everybody's just coming out just fine there. You see both of the Ferraris, 17 and 18 respectively. Luca Farina still leads the Ferrari pair. Is there some changes in the standings? Yeah, I would certainly. So Matthew Falcon just about to come off the pit lane now. But with this being a 60 kilometers per second pit limiter, this would be a bit tough for him to, you know, just get in front of Senenkaya there. But here goes the Falcon. What is this time going to be? But there's the Senenkaya just coming out of the final corner now. Matthew Falcon 4.31. He's tried his best. His crew tried his best to just get out in front of Senenkaya, but certainly they weren't hoping for that. He would just come out in 4th place, maybe in 5th place at this point. And what's gonna happen there? Tin Anderson just about to overtake Matthew Falcon, but there you see now, and there you see Nick Koch just about to overtake Matthew Falcon there. Falcon moves up to 6th, Ryan Adam goes up to 7th, Hope goes up to 8th, Seplet goes up to 9th, and look at Mihaly Savak there down the inside of this corner. He's gonna take 11, he's up 11 positions up from his starting spot, but there you see Pilch not giving up, trying to go on the inside, had a look, but it wasn't enough. He stays 12th for the time being. And Ultra Soft Tires is known for having short time span for the tires itself, so had to be a bit careful when you're coming out and coming into the pit lane, because these tires can get very slidey very quickly if you don't care about the tire wears, and also the all of the tire stuff that they knew about it. Jafari Blackwood sets a lap time now, sets a new lap fastest lap of the race, 112.541, and then Tin Anderson just straight away beats that record, 112.369. There might be others to maybe challenge for him, but there you see Ryan Adam. Is he close enough to try to attack Nick Koch there? Nick Koch slides. Oh, just about to hit Dylan Hope there, but she lost 2 more positions, and that's gonna be crucial for her, because she is gonna lost the lead once again to Tin Anderson at this point. Oh, and there's a big kerfuffle here, and you see now both of the Ferraris now having a go at each other. Farina now up into 15, then Mr. Peterborough in 14. Sharshanitz, after all the pit stops have happened, he still hadn't changed the position yet, so he's still in 13th there. Then we have Pilch in 12th, then Savak in 11th. So it could be these two, so that might be some of these drivers that try to get themselves in the front, try as hard as they could to try to get into the front. Now Dylan Hope's just about there in 8th place. He is very close to him, and he doesn't need DRS, it seems like, but then, oh, Nick Koch, she's actually on a soft tire. No wonder why she slowed down quite a bit, but she probably is the only one that's on soft at this point. Yeah. Cesar Corregini, fastest lap time once again, 112.918. Rest of the field seems they're going on ultra soft. Only Nick Koch is on soft tire. Is this the strategy that she wanted? She wants to go one stop all the way through? It might be. Yeah. I don't see anyone on super soft tires at all. So Sadakaya still has to make one more pit stop then, if this was gonna happen. Or maybe if the tires would just hold on enough and continue on to go for a couple more laps. But then again, Nick Koch is down there in 7th. So the gap might still be enough for Setting Kai's just to stay in front of Nick Koch. And obviously with the second stop, it doesn't cost that much of a time, because you don't have to fuel up the car that much. And yes, we still have refueling in this series in season 4, but there you see there Setting Kai is just having a little nerve-wracking there, but his crew and himself will try the best to just stay in front and stay ahead of Nick Koch if she wants to get that position so badly. But there you see Nick Koch just doing just fine, but there you see Dylan Hope try to catch up to her very, very fast there, because he is on ultra soft tire, he's on more softer tire, that means more grip on the tires, and basically more speed to actually try to attack Nick Koch at this point. Nick Koch seems a bit sliding down, a bit slidey. The tires is still not up to temperature, I would say, but still maybe a bit of slide, still might be just fine. So let's have a look on board with Dylan Hope at this point. Ooh, with the tank slapper there coming off of the final corner there at Adrian Campos. Now with no DRS, he's gonna have to do with slipstream only. 5/10, still not close enough. Now into turn 1, now into turn 2, which is Doohan corner, obviously named after Mick Doohan. Then turn 3 and 4, turn 4 that being called Nickel Toro. Then turn 5, now into turn 6, that being Angel Niotto. Then now into turn 7 here at Affion. Then into turn 8 in Bernard Martinez, and then turn 9, 10, 11. Seems like he's getting closer, I would say. Turn 12 into Champi Herios. Now into turn 13. And then rounding up on the final corner. Oh, he slides off and he spins around! Dylan Hoped made the whoa, and that's a huge mistake there from that Renault driver. He almost come up and almost hit the other cars as well, but my goodness me, he just slides off. Oh, yep. He slides into the gravel trap. The rest of the cars actually come into the pit lane as well. And let's see what happens. Now, Dylan Hoped in front of Shoshinat. Then the rest of the cars, here it comes. And that's going to be a three-way contact. Oh, almost a contact there between Bivona and Drobo Zarjevic, but there you see now Cohen Jr. had a go on Blackwood, but obviously Blackwood just about to come out of the pit lane with a more fresher Ultra Soft tires. So Nick Koch in 3rd place, Matthew Falcon in 2nd, Tim Anderson there in P1 still. Wouldn't be that for long, but here comes now Setting Kaya. Closing on Luca Farina now. Luca Farina has to, you know, a little bit, watch out a bit on that. And sliding off just a bit. And look at that, my goodness me, look at that grip that Setting Kaya had on that coming off of turn 11, but still wasn't enough to overtake Luca Farina. So he didn't want to waste his time on Luca Farina because he has other cars to go for, and he got slowed down by Luca Farina himself. Oh, that's gonna give less of a chance to catch up to Nick Koch now at this point. And now he's getting under attack by Henry Jack Brown, but he's gonna go to the pits, into the pits anyway for this reason, so he's gonna slow down. Oh, that's almost a clash there into turn 1 between Cohen Jr., Bivona, and Tim Anderson there. Anderson just coming out in P10, Ryan down in 11. And there you see how Blackwood still trying to overtake the Sahara Force India of Henry Jack Brown, but he's just not giving up, is he? And here it goes now, coming off turn 6, now into turn 7 and 8. Would Blackwood go for a dive bomb? No, he won't. He plays safe. And look what he's trying to do. It's about 5/10 away once again. And now he's getting pretty slow now. His teammates Akatida Bivona is right behind him now. In 8th place, Blackwood. Being the pole position man doesn't always guarantee that you're going to win the race. So, I mean, this is obviously it. But now Blackwood is closing up. And I think Bivona is getting checked up there by the Sahara Force India driver. There you see now other cars now into the pit lane. Shall shine out there, and there he goes. Bivona had a look on the inside of the turn 1, wasn't enough, so Bivona has to still stay in 4th place. But then you see now Anderson trying to make a move once again on Cohen Jr., who was on fire. Now moving up from 26th on the grid to 6th on track right now. She started 26th. Now up to 6th place. That's her racing number as well. Goodness me. And there you see now Nick Koch slowing down quite severely there because of the tyre. I don't know if she's gonna pit soon, but we only have 5 laps left to go. If Seneca is just about to have enough will and enough gap to go for enough will and enough tire grip, just about to go for the move on Nick Koch in the last 4 laps of the race. It's not going to turn out to, yeah, 4 laps, 3 laps into the race. So we're on lap 27 out of 30 now, so that's actually 4 laps to go, sorry. But Kaya's still in second place, 14 seconds there, and look at the gaps actually decreasing very much. It's not from 15 seconds down to 13 seconds in just one corner. And it's gonna get down even more at this point. Seneca, he's just pushing hard to try to catch up to Nick Koch there. It's only about 4 laps to go, so you better be hurry, man. It's now about 12 seconds away. If he doesn't make any mistakes, I think he might be able to have enough grip to just overtake him. But obviously he can't over push his cab and the tires as well, because obviously tires has its own limitations and its own limits. But there you see now, I think he's gaining about like probably a 5 second per lap. At this rate, he might be able to overtake her after all. But there you see now, it's down to about 9.3 seconds. It's all come down to this. If anyone's have a little bit of nostalgia moment here, it might consider be 2014 Bathurst 1000. Obviously, when Chaz Mostert was coming back from a crash early on in the race, and he was trying to overtake Jamie Whincup there, and eventually he would overtake him on a final couple of corners of the Bathurst 1000. So might beat Selenkaya probably in Chaz Mostert position here, but would he be able to catch up in time? That's the question. We only have 3 laps to go in this race. Nick Koch just about to stretching out a slight bit more, 7.6, 7.5. If Selenkaya didn't mess up that corner, yes, he didn't. It's about 7 seconds now. He's gaining there. 7.5. You see now a lot slower coming off of that corner there for Nick Koch. 6 seconds. And I feel like it's getting tougher and tougher for Encourage to just try and to just get through Nick Koch there. It's now increased to 7 seconds gap. Now down to about 6, almost 5 seconds now. 2 laps to go in this race. Nick Koch still try to pull away with the one soft tire, but also Selenkaya was pushing hard on that ultra soft tires. It's now down to 5.8 seconds now. Meanwhile, the back of the pack there you see Luca Farina now under pressure from Renault of Villeneuve, who tried to go on the inside, but there wasn't enough gap or enough room there. But you see Brown had a look on the inside, but then you see Mr. Peanut Butter slides off and hits the wing on Petrosyan, the last race winner. Oh, I think that might be a bit too much there for Brown, who caused the wreck, but obviously Peanut Butter couldn't do anything about that. And the same couldn't be said for Petrosyan there. He has a front wing damage, and you see now 2 battles going on here. In 13th place, Mihaly Suvar just about to overtake Porsche Shoshana there for 13th place, and we're now starting the final laps of the race. Nick Koch still holding on in the front with Selenkaya. Actually, is the gap starting to stretching out again? I think so, but these battles is still raging on there. But there you see now Vivona is just doing all he could to just let Tim Anderson stay behind him. And now you see now 3.4 seconds, 3.2 seconds. It's looking as if it might just be a bit too much for Selenkaya and his tires to just try to pounce on Nick Koch there. Would this be it? 2.6, 2.5. It still might just be enough. It only has a couple of corners left. The other's battle was still doing just fine. 2.5 seconds now. Nick Koch just about hits the curbs a little bit, just coming around the final corner. But it wouldn't be enough there for Sedenkai to just take the first place away, because Nick Koch just about to hang on and wins the Spanish Grand Prix on merit. That is superb strategy from the Haas team, and they would still lead the championship, both the drivers and the constructors. Nick Koch, she leads again. She's still gonna retain the lead of the race. Sedenkai would have to settle for second place, but what an effort from that man. What an effort from the Filipino. That is going to be his third podium of the season. But man, the win is just there for him. If he would have had a super soft tires and a couple of more laps, he might be able to catch up to Nick Koch after all. But goodness me, his first elusive race victory would still have to stay on for a bit more longer there for Sedenkai. But there you can see that both Jafari Blackwood and Bivona both absolutely elated that they finished 3-4 actually for McLaren, so that is going to be a good solid amount of points for McLaren for the championship hunt in the constructors. So yeah, Bivona finished 4th there, Tim Anderson finished 5th, Matthew Falcon, great effort there in 6th place, but Cesar Cohen Jr., I couldn't believe she came up from 26th on the grid to finish 7th on the grid, on the finish line. That is crazy. Then you see there Ryan Adam finally finishing in the points for the first time in his career, finishing in 8th place. Sepplets finishing 9th, finally scoring Red Bull some points there, 2 points, but it's probably 2 points that they needed the most there. Luca Farina would finish in 10th place, Dylan Hope finished 11th, Raymond Tanner in 12th, Mihaly Savak in 13th, Charles Scheinert in 14th. Then you see Henry Jack Brown in 15th as well, and Prema Pilch in 16th, Mr. Peter Butter in 17th, and then Mitch Johnson in 18th, Tomala 19th, Slatko Drobozajevic not faring well on this track, finishing in 20th. Then P21 obviously is Simon Witt, Diabagas P22, then Livin Pasalik in 23rd, Flandre Wilson in 24th, then Alex Lewan in 25th, and Pedro Jean, who had a clash earlier late in the race, finishing last and a lap down as well. He's still trying to finish on his lap. Well, would he be classified as, well, actually he's gonna, well, never mind then, he's gonna finish on a lead lap at this point. Yep, Pedro Jean was still gonna finish, he still would finish all 30 laps, so he would not be a lap down. So yeah, so that's about it. But Nick Koch, man, that was a masterful strategy there from Haas. What a win there for him. And the fastest lap actually will go to Cesar Cohen Jr. What a mad girl that was. 112.918, that is her best time in the race, and obviously the best lap time of the race. And my goodness me, that's about it for this race. That is probably the first half is just utterly boring, or boredom, to be honest. But then the second half really just blew things off from that point on. But then you see obviously strategy battles between Sedenkai and Nick Koch there at the end. Couldn't quite get there for Sedenkai. I had a sympathy from him, but man, he gotta have a bit of luck on next race. But we'll see what happens for him in the next race at Japan. So, well, yeah, speaking of the next race, but yeah, we'll talk about that later on in this broadcast. But yeah, certainly boredom on the first half, but certainly a interesting one on the second half for this race at the Spanish Grand Prix. And that's about it for today's that's about it for the Spanish Grand Prix here at the Circuit Ricardo Tormo. Next round, we are heading towards the land of the rising sun. Yes, I mean, I initially a bit spoiled that one first, but yeah, we are going back to Asia for the final round of the Asian swing. We are going to the Japan for the Japanese Grand Prix at the Suzuka circuit. That track is always gonna have a special place in everyone's hearts for being one of the most historical Asian races in the season. So we're looking forward to that race as well. And well, yeah, that's about it for this. Jesus Christ, I'm so tired because of the first half of the race, but yeah, the second half really woke me up there for this race. But yeah, that's it for our broadcast. So if you like this kind of content and wanting to see more of these, make sure to subscribe to the International World Tour Racing channel. You can give a like, a share, a subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new videos or new contents that will be coming out to you in the near future. And if you'd like to join this league, I'll put the Discord link into the description below. And that's it from me today. I've been Pausa, your host and your commentator, signing off for today. Goodbye everyone.